Chapter 13. Abandoned Whaling Station. Pierce crossed the docks where old acquaintances and new faces met their ends. All over the place, Leviathan slaves were wandering in search of a victim. After fighting his way through, and after discovering the truth about the origin of the cult and its founders, Pierce finally reached the whaling station. He hopes to catch Sarah Hawkins before she does something bad.
Hither thou shall be freed. Sarah is with those bastards. I gotta find her quick.
This is an interesting little session. Setting.
Seems strong enough to break down the door.
You mean that tank, right? Because this was just a hoop.
This tank seems strong enough to break down the door.
And it's also pointing at the door. How convenient. I think we're gonna string something through that and bring it up here. Like pull it back. Well, the Shambler's gone now. That was kind of the jump scare monster for a while. We'll see what they really throw at me.
And a hook.
Relatively thick rope.
Hold the reservoir back.
Relatively thick rope to which a metal hook is attached. It must be used to pick up heavy materials. It looks strong enough to take the weight of the tank. Someone's singing. Hello. So what's hiding back here?
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
We're really into collecting this for some reason, aren't we? These are the last entries from the pastor's wife. Her husband ordered his faithful to come together for a final ceremony in the honor of Leviathan. She fears that the pastor will ask them to sacrifice themselves to this abomination. She tried to escape. This is probably why her body was found in a cave under the mansion. I guess that last part's not in the diary, because she wouldn't write it.
Looks like a page from a log from 1847.
Friday 4th, June, 1847. 53 degrees north, 53 degrees west. We are starving. The fish seems to have deserted these waters. If I don't quickly find an answer to this crisis, Fitzroy could well set off a mutiny. Each day, more and more men believe in his tales of a miraculous catch. Merciful God, help me. Wednesday, 9th of June, 1847. 51 degrees north, 51 degrees west. We sighted an enormous whale further to the south. The biggest we've ever seen. Fitzroy keeps telling the men that this is the miraculous catch he promised them. We will catch it and bring it back home to feed our families. Fitzroy was so sure preemptively. Why did he know about it in advance? Oh, that was just a glare. I was like, what am I seeing up here? Alright. Whaling station key. Got it. Probably need the light, don't I? I did last time, it seems.
Fuller was a crew member too. Interesting.
Wednesday, 23rd of June, 1847. 33 degrees north, 53 degrees west. The morning is biting cold. This creature made us work hard. Half my crew is dead. I've never seen such a thing. I do not even know how to describe what happened. It's as if the creature was talking inside our heads. Some of my men went crazy and jumped overboard. This thing is not a whale, it's far bigger. I don't even know how to describe it. It practically gutted our ship with these tentacles. I don't know how. My harpoon finally pierced the skull of this monster. The crew is in a sorry state. Fuller looks after the injured, but some will not recover. You don't know how to describe a giant octopus creature? Like, not even a little bit? On top of the massive thing holding this thing shut, there's also just little boards here and there.
Sarah Hawkins was probably taken behind this huge door. Got to find a way to get through.
Look at these tiny attempts to bar the door. They're adorable. It's already a giant mega door. They're like, we gotta do these little things to add to it, or maybe it'll collapse, or we'll be in trouble. Can't quite see over it. Ah, got the key to this place.
I'll be lucky if it's still sharp enough.
Knife is rusty, but still looks usable. What are you gonna use that on?
Doesn't work.
Oh.
It mentions the Leviathan. How it drove the sailors mad.
The last one said that. Friday 27th, June 1847. 37 degrees north, 63 degrees west. The whole crew has descended into madness. They speak of dreams, visions of a nightmarish city and a sleeping god. Madness. I locked myself in my cabin. I won't be able to hold out for long. Fitzroy has 12 men on his side. They sacrificed everyone who tried to stop them to their new god. I beseech you, Almighty God, to have pity on our souls. This will be my last prayer. I can hear them whispering. So even before they even got to the island, there was already massive problems with this new catch, and they kind of stuck with it anyway. Were they really hidden objects, though? The notes that are for the main story that don't reveal a lot of secrets. And then the key that I needed to proceed.
From moving. This should help me get the tank swinging. I need something to cut the rope to release the tank against the door.
Yep, already way ahead of you. That's why they gave me this knife. Ooh. Vandalism is worth CP. Did I make my mind up where I want to go next? It looks like I had started putting points into eloquence. Yeah. We'll see how many more points even exist in the game. Because a lot of these things are getting pretty up there. Clues. That's just the things I just found. Yep. Knowledge. Also just things I just found. Click. How's that sanity meter looking? Yep, still as empty as always. Oh, it's gonna suck to be our protagonist. There are some choices that affect how much sanity you lose, but there's also just the element of, like, you kind of have to avoid being inquisitive and exploring in order to maintain your sanity to some extent. Because the very act of gaining knowledge is bad for your sanity in a Lovecraftian story. But that's inherently how I play games. So it's really hard to just be like, Nah, I'm just gonna run past everything in this playthrough. I mean, it'd be faster. Certainly be a faster playthrough. It's the squid loaf. It's everywhere. Gross. Why is there so many? Why is there always faces specifically? Are those all the babies? Is this creature just spewing babies everywhere? Is it the giant one? Is that it?
What is that thing? What is that thing? No. That voice. You're the Leviathan.
Yeah, it is. That's the one. What does that do? Sanity's extra low now. Yep. Leviathan. The true appearance of Leviathan was revealed, and no man can support this vision without going mad. Really? A lumpy giant squid? I don't know if I buy that. Pierce set his eyes upon the cosmic being, and his mind suffered a new attack. He is trapped in the whaling station with Leviathan, and he must endure a series of ordeals if he is to survive this encounter. His choices will bear serious consequences for his sanity. No, they won't. I'm already insane. You can't stop me. You can't fix me. Stellar larva, offspring of the earth, Leviathan is seen, feared, worshipped, and named by men. It is linked by its dreams to the one who sleeps, and will not find rest until its divine progenitor is free. There is no greater predator on Earth, and yet, this being that feeds on huge creatures will never directly attack men. It will instill fear, the dreams of Erle, and, finally, madness into the minds of those who it chooses to serve its designs. Cursed are those who cross its path, and more cursed still those who hear its voice, because for them, no salvation in death. I mean, it's not a friendly sight, but I don't think you'd I don't think you instantly suffer permanent psychic damage from seeing a giant squid. Oh man, look at him go.
Sarah?
Who is this? The quest for truth requires sacrifice. There's no room for compassion.
Who's there?
Your stubbornness at wanting to help others who would have deserted you is a weakness. Fate leads us inevitably to solitude, and in one's final moments, one is always alone. You can't escape it forever. It will always find its way.
Damn it!
Come in. I said come in. Hi. What? Where? That's a detailed drawing of him. Settings. Graphics. Textures. Epic. This is epic textures? Really? I can probably make that out. Leviathan. This fascinating creature possesses incredible regeneration capacities. The consumption of some parts of its body provokes various effects on something. depending on the part ingested. Is it the brain? Oh, on humans, depending on the part ingested. Whenever a part of the creature's body is injured or even remotely, or even completely removed, it immediately starts healing. After a few hours to a few days, it is as if nothing has happened. The harpoon Hamilton stuck in the beast's brain probably explains why. It can't leave. It seems paralyzed. It is still conscious, but I cannot penetrate its defense systems or even move. Oh, it cannot activate its defense systems or even move. I managed to extract the something fluid from its brain, and its properties are amazing. I've called it, yeah, it's a made-up word, so it's gonna be a lot harder to make out now. Ichor, and in reference to the gods of in reference to the gods. Ethereal fluid. I need to make further experiments, but it appears that when a subject receives an injection containing this fluid, first something can control his mind. I don't know yet why only 13. What? Probably because of our long exposure to the beast, or our frequent consumption of its flesh, making us part Leviathan. Really hard to read, but they went to the effort of writing it all out, which is why it's weird how much work it is to read it. Excision of the Madness Stone. Beliefs and other superstitions have sometimes contributed to the development of medicine. Several centuries ago, it was thought that a patient with mental disorder had a stone of madness in his skull. Trepanation of the skull and excision were thus performed. Sometimes the patient survived, sometimes he was cured. Today the vocabulary has changed, but the method a little less. Oh, it's sad because mental health is always bad news. Medicine. Still not 3. Still not. No, we're not gonna get 4 out of 5 probably. About 2 to 3 times bigger than a common whale. Which whale? I think it's easier to read without that. The tentacles are of the most significant size that the creature on or typical whale. Their utility is still unknown, but it does remind us of our first visions of the god. I have to like guess what half the words are based on context. Let's see. Lower light might help a little. Yeah, that's a bit better. The fat, when boiled, makes the oil. It could be used as a typical whale's oil. Its best, particularly, however, is to allow people to visualize glimpses of this mysterious city and God we saw ourselves. Best efficient with creative people. Having it consumed while sleeping also increases the effects. There's definitely some localization issues here and there. Or grammar problems, I don't know. It could be localization or it could just be, it's just in English but bad grammar here and there. But there's like weird problems with like missing punctuation or missing words here and there. In various writings throughout the game. Consuming the flesh gives a certain form of immortality, or at least increases lifespan. It does not bring back youth, however. The flesh is also responsible for the regeneration of the body. It can heal almost any kind of injuries, even lost limbs. Something grew back in less than a week. Surprisingly, he still limps like an amputee. Psychological? Oh, I think it's somebody's leg grew back. A human's leg. I thought it was the creature. Warning. Wait, I can crouch. There we go. Warning, abusive use of the regeneration property might make the body change, becoming more similar to the creature and less human. So basically they figured out that on top of being a food source, the flesh of the Leviathan is also a form of medicine, and they were using said medicine to heal people accidentally at first and then on purpose. But if you overuse it, then they start to change.
Everything points back to the day they brought in that thing.
A forgotten photograph in the offices of the whaling station. Only a handful of the Scylla crew is present. Captain Fitzroy and Dr. Fuller are included, stated 1847. So when that guy was talking about his father or uncle or whatever being on the crew, he was lying. It was him, because they're all old. They're all very old. Impossibly old.
While the sailors were going insane, Fitzroy and the mutineers took over the ship and probably killed the captain.
Thursday, 25th of June, 1847. 35 north, 59 west. Fitzroy encouraged the men all day. They are in shock and can't overcome their trauma. They say they can hear the screams of their comrades turned mad. Some of them hurt themselves in a desperate attempt to stop the visions that haunted them. Others chose to embrace them. Fitzroy is one of the latter. He named the beast Leviathan because he believes his biblical nature. I told them to get rid of it before it's too late. This thing is not the work of God. Hey look, another emergency kit. If only we could take that back and fix the other person.
An old log.
Captain Hamilton's logbook. Monday, 24th of May, 1847. 40 north, 70 west. We have sailed from the island of Darkwater towards the north. Sailors say that these waters are haunted. I don't believe in these tales. It's not a good time for us. My men haven't seen the slightest trace of a whale for quite a while. If this season doesn't improve, they will no longer wish to serve on the Scylla. I mean, they're not going to want to do anything besides leave the island, presumably, because they're all going to starve. Sunday, 30th of May, 1847. 47 north, 55 west. We are not the only hunters here. While we were looking for a prey, we found dead whales. A dozen of them, drifting. Their entrails exposed. They had been shred, as if they had been attacked by a huge predator. It's very strange. Perhaps it is the sign from God. Perhaps it is this good catch that they have been long hoping for. We must find it, whatever the risk.
Belonging to the captain of the Scylla. The pages I found seem to be the missing ones.
Darkwater Family Register. Yeah, excuse me, sir. It's called the Miraculous Catch, not the Great Catch. Listening comprehension is important. We're definitely not going to be able to read that. I don't think there's another document that repeats this information. I think you have to like power through reading the low-res textures like it's a Myst game. I think that's just the way to go. We're not taking this very well. But I still don't understand why there's a bunch of little squid heads on these things. Why do these guys have squid heads? Are they breathing? So like, are those his babies? Does he have babies? Or are they cutting pieces of it off and each piece grows into an entire one, but at that size? I don't know. Wow, that's a lot of them. So these don't make you freak out? I think they're egg sacs? They seem to be.
We eat his flesh while he's still alive.
So you think it's his flesh too? So like, so they cut his stuff off. I know they said that it regrows, but I didn't realize that it also means that the chunks regrow into small versions of him. But then these are like solid ass chunks. These are all nice clean steaks. But these are like crazy blob monsters. Why aren't those turning into those? And you can't cut those out of that, because this thing isn't shaped right to be like that. That's from the original body. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe they are all eggs. That's so many babies. Are we also eating all the babies? Why have I done this? Is there something to find? Ooh. Wait, tire treads? How? Oh, he's committed now. Okay. Where's this gonna lead me? Water down there just to top things off. We've achieved next level. I almost said agoraphobia. That's the exact opposite. More or less. Claustrophobia. There we go. Was that even necessary? I didn't even verify that we had a blocked path. Yeah, we did. Okay. I just found it. And he committed. Oh yeah.
Locked on the other side.
No. Did you take the door away again? No, you didn't. Not this time.
Ah, finally awake. How do you feel, Mr. Pierce?
Fuller! Son of a bitch! I'll kill you!
No, I'm not even really with you. Well, to be perfectly precise, I am with you, but not in this cell.
What have you done to me?
Me? Nothing, really. See, it's one of the exquisite effects of this incredible creature.
Leviathan!
I see you already know about it. Well, shall we begin?
I mean, he definitely did something to me when I was imprisoned. Hello. Nope. Do it. Oh, what is that? Okay, they're just eating. It looks like they're just eating a person from here. Oh, it opens. Oh, it's really gross in here. They're entrails. Eat the meat. Oh. Oh, it's worse than I thought.
Let me take a sample from you. Flesh, blood, spinal fluids. Don't fear. I created the mythological ichor from Leviathan's flesh. Who knows what I can make with you? I need your body for my research.
Killed him.
A necessary sacrifice that proves your determination.
I feel like the follow-up implication of take the gun and then shoot him was like not entirely explained. I was like, oh, I want a gun. This come in handy. Immediately shoot guy in room. I'm like, oh. Oh. Thanks.
Find the truth and be free.
You mean seek the truth, right? We gotta keep our terminology straight. I'm not the truth finder. We're gonna be like, this will affect your fate. You picked door number 7. That little flash and sound is probably masking the fact that the game's teleporting me and maybe not very cleanly. Hello. These are like growing over time. Will they tell me which one to try? This is the same room. Ah. Ah. Oh, it's the beginning of Dishonored. I'm kind of amused by the idea that like the first thing you see in Dishonored is like this game is peak of insanity.
Nothing's happening.
There's a few things happening right now, dude. One might even say things are getting kind of crazy. Why did I fall to the floor? These not platforms? Oh, that one is. Oh. Really? Why? Why? Is this trial and error, or is there like a method to the madness? I think it's the stuff that loads in the distance. I think that might be the mechanic for all of this stuff. Yeah. I think that the stuff that loads in as you're getting closer, you're supposed to find the solid one and use that one. None of these work anymore. That must have been the right one.
Nothing's happening.
This means it's time for phase 2. Find other thing to click on. Oh, there's suddenly a wall here. Okay. A little hard to tell if it's an intentional effect or if the game's just like having trouble loading. Oh, I walked through that. Alright. That's awkward. Quickly, run in before they can spawn. Oh. Alright, well the one on the right's the one that's not loading in. Success, I assume? Oh no. Wait, really? That was a death?